Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Face Mask Fantasy.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. This is the second live stream in a row where I feel like there has been much more time has passed since the last time that we live streamed.
It's because this has been the craziest off season ever.
It continues. The crazy off season continues.
I lost a coffee mug yesterday because I was working and I had like half a mug of coffee, like a good half mug of coffee still like sitting that I kind of forgot about because the Tyreek Hill trade broke. So I put it on the burner to like warm it up a little bit and left it there for a while.
Same thing happened with my tea. Just like
everything became crystallized and I was like, well, this is disgusting. And I tried to clean it out. Like, so this is what happens. The NFL takes hold of us and I get distracted and I can't do anything else. So rest in peace to my coffee mug, but that's okay. We can talk about Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, man. What's going on, Hunter L? What's going on, Rojo Fish? Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Yo,
we're almost there. We're almost to the weekend.
Who foresaw that? Who foresaw Tyreek Hill being traded at all? I feel like that was from the start of where we started hearing rumblings that it was possible to the trade confirmed by Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. I feel like it was like 2 hours.
It went from like, there's no real news. We'll just assume that Tyreek gets re-signed. And then the little nuggets started to drop in. Tyreek Hill's been given permission to seek a trade. Then like 15 minutes later, it was like literally everybody, any source you follow for NFL news was like, yeah, this is just going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And then, yeah, maybe another 15 minutes later, it's between the Dolphins and the Jets. And then within that same hour, Tyreek Hill's been traded. Like the craziest and fastest sequence of events I've ever seen in the NFL for anybody. And it just so happens to be one of the biggest stars in the league. So the NFL knows how to grab us.
Legitimately, I mean, the Devontae Adams trade was huge. The Watson trade was huge. But this trade, the biggest trade I've ever seen, a wide receiver in his prime. We can already say Tyreek Hill, probably a Hall of Fame wide receiver, traded in 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean, just looking at his numbers over the past 4 or 5 years, which I did mention in one of our videos about him. Like he's got in the past 4 seasons, then the 4th season he missed time due to injury. He's got a 100 catch season, almost a 1,500 yard season, and a 15 touchdown season. Like this dude is so dynamic, so versatile. And the 100 catch season last year, it was just like, okay, the defense is sold out to take away the deep ball. So it's just like, okay, Tyreek Hill's now a PPR monster. Like and some of that can be, attributed to the Chiefs' abilities and creativity on offense. But it's a testament to his skill set. He's so dynamic. He's so diverse. He's so electric.
He's not just a speed
Dolphins
guy.
are getting a good one.
People are talking about how the Chiefs' plan must be they're going to just get a speedy guy in the draft. You talked about it. I talked about it. Jameson Williams, just go get Jameson Williams in the draft, get a speedy guy, throw him out there in the same spot that Tyreek Hill was in, and keep it moving like nothing happened. But lost in that, yes, Tyreek Hill is a very fast wide receiver.
Yep.
But there are fast wide receivers in the NFL that don't do anything. He just happens to be one of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL, and one of the most agile wide receivers in the NFL, and one of the best wide receivers at catching the ball and adjusting to balls and finding zones, soft zones, and then manipulating defenses once he has the ball in his hands to maximize his yards after the catch. And he doesn't get injured very much. So there's a lot more to Tyreek Hill than just a fast guy, and I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be able to find somebody to just step in and replace him as a 1-for-1 replacement. I think that's crazy to think that.
Oh, no. There's no. We're talking about one of the premier playmakers in the league.
Yeah.
What's
going on, Kyle?
But we'll see what happens. What's up, Kyle? Yeah, I mean, the Jets... The Jets were looking like the Jets need receiver help. They had Corey Davis is a nice player. Elijah Moore is an ascending talent, and that might be selling him a little bit short. I don't intend to, but they could use some extra help. And they'll probably get it in the draft. They still have their draft capital by not making this move. Obviously, a big name like Tyreek Hill, it's like when it's like that's not the type of player you ever think is available. But when he becomes available, it's like, oh yeah, please. But they still have the opportunity to get some receiver help, whoever they deem to be their favorite, and I think they will consider it as high as 4. So we'll see what happens.
And the Dolphins were a little bit more, just from a team perspective, and what they have currently. It's easier to see them, spend all this draft capital and be good versus spend all this draft capital and still not quite be there with the rebuild. Mm-hmm. If the Jets would have made the same move, I don't think they would have had as good a chance to make any NFL waves, whereas the Dolphins seemed primed to pick up one of them wild card spots and make a run in the playoffs now with Teron Armstead, with Tyreek Hill obviously, and the other moves they made. I think we're gonna see the Dolphins in the playoffs in one of those wild card spots. Yeah,
they're set. I mean, it all comes down to Tua. And we saw him do it at Alabama. It's been a couple of years now, but hip injury. Hip injuries can take a long time to recover from. So if he's able to shake it, and he's still young enough, that's the key. That'll be the determining factor. But the pieces are there. The pieces are in place around him. So,
yep.
And Hunter, as far as like a top 10 receiver that needs to get paid, they get moved if that team has a high-end quarterback soaking up a lot of the cap. I think, because look at the situations. It's Aaron Rodgers,
Makes me a little bit worried about the Stephon Diggs situation that might be coming around the
because that Allen contract. When does that Allen contract kick in?
Next year, and Stephon Diggs is being paid less than Christian Kirk right now, and.
That's going to change, or he's going to want that to change. Honestly, that's not a bad forward-thinking situation for Dynasty. Like, if you have a player like Stephon Diggs, don't do it now, but maybe wait during the season while he's doing his thing and sell high if you think that's going to be the case. Yeah, like if there's an elite wide receiver like a DK Metcalf, who I know his name just dropped in here, is not attached right now to a star quarterback, he's not going to get moved.
Yeah, he's going to get paid.
Right. But when you have quarterbacks on these monster contracts, Patrick Mahomes, obviously one of them, it squeezes the front office a little bit as far as making moves. And so maybe that's this is kind of the counterpoint to when we always say the cap doesn't matter. The cap doesn't matter as it pertains to teams like kicking the can down the road. But the point is there's only so many high-end dollars you can dish out to a select number of players.
Yeah.
So it still matters a little bit. Even though we've spent the past several streams saying the cap doesn't matter. It does in specific scenarios, and that it is when you have a lot of money tied to an elite quarterback. So that's going to happen with that. It's going to happen with Patrick Mahomes. It's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. It's going to happen with Josh Allen. It's going to happen with Lamar Jackson. It's going to happen with Kyler Murray. Like when these big when these big name quarterbacks get these big name contracts, if they have a stud receiver that they're throwing to, yeah, don't be surprised to see them end up on the move.
Well, I mean, you said Lamar Jackson. I'm not too worried there because his number one wide receiver is a tight end, and we know that there is an inherent discount in having a tight end as your number one wide receiver when you're looking at a wide receiver and what he should get paid market value versus a tight end. So a little bit different there, but I agree.
Sure.
I agree. And that's why Justin Herbert, that's why they were able to re-sign Mike Williams for a 3-year deal because they don't have to worry about Justin Herbert paying him the big bucks for another 3 years. Really.
Right. But when that happens, now, of course, Keenan Allen will be a little bit older, but they will probably be investing in young receivers by that time. Don't expect a stud anchor wide receiver to get traded to the Chargers once that contract kicks in. And it will.
And Jason, what's going on? We'll get to your your comment in a little bit, but we got to work our way down the chat.
Yeah. As far as what this does to Mahomes' stock, so he was already the number 2 overall, even with Tyreek Hill. Josh Allen has to be considered the number 1 quarterback for startups anyway, I think. It's going to come down to personal preference. Mahomes is not for me, he was the clear number 2. Now, if you want to put Justin Herbert up there, and I would even say like Herbert because of it, first of all, he looks fantastic in his own right, and he's got a deeper collection of weapons than Mahomes does now. Kelsey clears both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, but after that, I'd rather have Keenan Allen than Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think I'd rather have Mike Williams than him too. So a little bit deeper for Herbert, and Lamar has the highest of upside as far as from a rushing perspective at the quarterback position. So it's your call. I wouldn't be shocked to see some people move Mahomes as far down as 4. I wouldn't. He's he's closer to Herbert and Lamar Jackson than he was a couple days ago, at least for me.
Yes.
If you still want to keep him number 2, look, Mahomes is fantastic. There's no way around it. And they're going to they added Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Don't be surprised to see them in one capacity or another add another wide receiver. So Mahomes is still right there. He doesn't tumble too far down. I would say prior to this move, he was the clear number 2 in both redraft and dynasty. Now it's not as clear, but he's not falling for me farther than 4th.
No.
And even then, I'm like, I don't even know if I feel good putting Mahomes all the way down at 4th. Like, he's in that top 3. But there's more of a conversation that can be had.
You said it in the Tyreek Hill video that we just put out. Within 30 minutes of hearing the news that dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it now technically presents a buy window for Mahomes. It does.
Yes. Yeah. To that point, if the Mahomes owner is now like, I'm a little feeling less leery on Mahomes. Now it's in either format. The cost is still going to be high, but it dropped a little bit. Had to have. So yeah, this is a buy opportunity for Patrick Mahomes to that point, because he's going to stay. This is the especially before they add anything else. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a nice receiver, but he's not one of those names that jumps off the page at you.
No, I mean it's a lateral move in terms of the quarterback that you're working with. He went from Aaron Rodgers, who he wasn't all that great with, to Patrick Mahomes, who he's probably not going to be all that great with, but at least he's a solid depth signing. And what's going on, Will? What's going on, Logan Hampton? What's happening? AB, what's happening, man?
What's going on, guys?
And we got to fill in a little bit here, but I just see this. Would you take Burrow over Mahomes? I would trade Burrow for Mahomes, and I agree, Will.
Yeah, I would trade Burrow for
putting
Mahomes.
him above Burrow yet, but considering the general thought process on Mahomes' trajectory and what this move does to Burrow's trajectory and what this does to Mahomes' trajectory moving forward, if you have Burrow, I would try to move Burrow into getting a Mahomes.
Yep. I would sell Burrow on his collection of pass catchers, and I would say, look, Mahomes just lost one of the best in the business, and that would be my selling point. I would absolutely see if I could do something like that. If anything else, this might be like maybe Mahomes runs a little bit more.
Yeah.
If there are fewer, if there are fewer guys open on a play-by-play basis, he might use his legs a little bit more. And Mahomes is the type of player you don't have to worry about taking unnecessary contact. He's going to be smart about it.
I mean, maybe now we finally see CEH be unlocked a little bit. Maybe just out of necessity.
Don't do that to me.
They finally have to use him in the pass game.
Don't give me hope.
And we
don't
finally.
Give me hope.
I mean, hey, Tyreek Hill is out of this offense.
I know.
And maybe we finally see them use him in the manner that we always thought he would be, Brian Westbrook light. Maybe he finally gets there. So it's going to be an interesting season for sure. When you're looking at what the Chiefs are going to be and what their outputs or the player outputs are going to be from a fantasy standpoint. DK to the Packers, Rojo Fish would be incredibly juicy.
Be juicy, but it would require a haul that the Packers I doubt want to do. The Packers build inward traditionally and historically. They don't trade their draft picks, and it would require a first and maybe two. Would it be awesome for us and super fun for us to talk about? Hell yeah. Will it happen? I'll put it at a literal 1% chance.
Yeah, but stranger things have happened. I mean, we just saw Tyreek Hill move to the Dolphins, so there was a 0% chance of that happening.
The difference is DK is 4? Is he still 24? Yeah. Tyreek is 28, 29. So that's and on top of that, who else is a building block that Seattle has? They have I don't think they have a single building block for the long term outside of DK.
What do you mean? Drew Lock, bro?
Yeah. I think it would require 2 first-round picks and maybe even a little extra to get DK. And I don't think any team, especially the Packers, pays that price.
Now, I know you.
And I don't even know if the Seahawks might not even want to do it themselves, even if they were presented with it.
Yeah. But I know you went over this comment from Hunter L. Now, where does Tyreek rank? You went over this in your video. Do you want to speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, I can briefly talk about it. I'm not moving him that far down. That's the short version because he's still electric. He's still outstanding. And the head coach is a protege of Kyle Shanahan, which I did not mention in the video. But I feel like this offense is going to be pretty creative in Miami. Between Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I wouldn't be surprised to see, a lot of different, maybe RPOs, jet sweeps, a lot of trickery, get these guys in space, use their just raw speed. And Tyreek proved this past year he can be a PPR monster. He could, if Tua still can't uncork it the way we hope, I mean, he could still catch 90 passes. I moved him down below Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown.
To treat Tyreek like Debo. And use him in the run game, use him in the
Debo, I think, is a little bigger. Yeah. Debo's a little bigger and could handle that type of role on a more full-time basis. But, yeah, we could see, the A-dot dip a little bit, but we're still talking about a dude where it's we want to send this guy downfield as much as we can in Tyreek. So, for fantasy purposes, at least for redraft, and maybe this helps with Dynasty a little bit, I have him below Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown now, more into the Debo, CeeDee Lamb tier. But that's still a clear wide receiver 1. He's just an insane individual talent, Tyreek is. And the landing spot is less ideal. It's a less fantasy friendly situation in Miami than compared to Kansas City, but he's so good. I can't move him past the middle of the second round as far as redraft. And then as far as Dynasty, again, kind of the same deal. His dynasty value in startups takes a hit, but I'll buy that. I'll buy that dip.
Yeah,
I'll buy it. So he moves down, I would say, overall when you factor in the running backs for redraft rankings. I would say he moves down 5 or 6 spots.
I mean, everybody loves the new shiny toy. If you have Juju Smith-Schuster on your team, I would see what it would take. What you would need to add to a Juju Smith-Schuster to try and get a Tyreek Hill right now. I would. Yeah. In literally any format. But I agree with you on Tyreek. I do. And Jason, you say, hey guys, what's going on, bro? I'm thinking about trading Travis Kelce in Dynasty before anything else on the Chiefs changes. What do you think I can get for him? The person I'll be trading with has the 107. And also still has their 2023 first. Do you think I could get 2 firsts and give Kelce and some lower picks back in return? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
again,
you could sell him on the insane workload.
Same principle that I was just talking about with Juju Smith-Schuster. If you have him, try to move him into Tyreek Hill. If you have Travis Kelce right now, he's been the tight end 1 in 5 out of the last 6 years, and last year he didn't finish tight end 1, he finished tight end 2, and that was a down year for him. And now the perception is, and the reality to a certain extent, he's gonna get a ton more work this year out of necessity. They're gonna need him, but he's also an aging asset. He's going to be aging gracefully, but he's an aging asset. And if you can move out from under an aging asset and pick up a couple of firsts, or trade him for, maybe now somebody views him as slightly higher for 2020 or 2022 than Mark Andrews or something like that. If you can move off of Travis Kelce right now, and I mean, you want to get 2 firsts? Yeah, if you give up 2 seconds and Travis Kelce to get 2, I mean, you wouldn't probably not even 2 seconds. You could probably trade Kelce in 1 second and get 2 firsts right now.
I wouldn't even offer the second at first.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Don't even offer it. And try to be a little I would kind of take a hard stance on that, especially if he's a contender. If he's a contender, he might be a little bit more interested in just taking Kelce back, or you could coax him into, you keep your picks if you do in fact want to sell. But yeah, I mean, 2 firsts is absolutely the asking price right now for a player of Kelce's caliber.
Yeah, if
no
you need
question.
$5, don't ask for 3, ask for 10. Go all out. This is one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end of all time, depending on who you're asking. Get the haul for him.
Yep.
While his value is highest right now. We say that all the time. Get value while the value is highest.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
See what you can get.
Yep.
Now, do you think Tyreek over Devontae for Dynasty and Keeper?
Keeper, no. Dynasty, I would say they're both right there because they're both coming into lesser situations than they were previously in. They're both of similar age. Devontae, I think, is a little older, maybe by a year or so. But I also think, as of right now, I have a little more faith in Derek Carr than I do Tua, just based on what we've seen over the past couple of years. I think I would put them neck and neck, but I would give Devontae the slightest of edges. They're both still high-end options for at least the next 2 years.
Yeah. It also just depends what kind of wide receiver you like. Do you like that huge type wide receiver, or do you like the smaller, shiftier guy? Both of them can get it done, as we already know. So it might come down to preference. But I would have to agree with you.
Yep.
And Will, what's going on? What's poppin', man? How you doing? Thanks for being active in the chat. We appreciate it. Yo, everybody in the chat that's getting help from Will. Will is one of the better fantasy owners that I play with currently. So,
oh boy, he's gonna take that and run with it.
Yeah, he will. I don't care. Throwing out compliments today.
Yeah, there you go.
We're in a good.
It's Feel Good Thursday instead of Feel Good Friday.
There you go.
There you go. And yeah, did we get to the take Burrow? Yeah, we kind of mentioned already, Rojo. We would see if we could sell Burrow for Mahomes.
Yes.
Like, try to buy that. Try to buy the perceived drop in value. Try to buy the dip on Mahomes.
And you can cite that Burrow just got 3 new O linemen
Yup.
I mean, there's a narrative there that you can run with, and then look at Mahomes lost his favorite weapon for the foreseeable future, not the oldest weapon on the team either in Kelsey.
Yup.
He lost his young weapon that was supposed to be there for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mahomes' weapons are nowhere close to as good as Burrow's. You know, those are the talking points where it's like, yeah, here's Burrow for Mahomes.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And AB was popping. How you doing, man? Logan, good to see you. Love Burrow, but no shot. I'm taking him. Yeah, agree.
Nah, you can't. We can't do it. Mahomes didn't fall farther than like 3rd or 4th at worst. And even then, Burrow is like, I can't put him higher than 6th or 7th right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would take advantage of this dip if you can get Mahomes. If you can get Mahomes for a Burrow type, do it.
And Jason, you got the 103. Nice. Yo, Kenneth Walker.
There you go.
One of the highest risers in my eyes in terms of the running backs from this draft. I mean,
he's the RB2 right now. He's the RB2 right now.
Yeah, he didn't move a ton of spots. He was my RB3, but jumping Isaiah Spiller was not in what I thought to be the realm of possibilities for him when I mean, even just a month ago. But times change. Things change. Yeah. So, yeah, you can probably get Kenneth Walker at 103. And I like Kenneth Walker a lot. He looked to me when I was looking at his tape like a Shady McCoy with slightly less agility and probably a little bit less passing game chops. Not to say that he can't do it. I just didn't see it in the tape that I saw. But very electric running back. Alex, thank you so much for the super.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
For a Superflex rookie draft, who would you consider at 101 and 103?
Malik Willis. That's where the conversation starts, and regardless of your quarterback situation, that's where the conversation starts. I mean, I think for fantasy purposes, I think it's fair to say he separated himself as the top prospect at the position, and even in a weak class, the strongest prospect at quarterback in a Superflex league is worth taking a shot on if you're in a situation to grab him without having to reach.
I would disagree with you, but
I don't know, man. Like
at 103, yes. At 101?
At 101, at
101, I'm going Breece Hall.
I think because you have the 103, I think, okay, maybe let me caveat my statement. Because you have the 103, in addition to the 101, Malik Willis can be in play there because you can still end up with one of your favorite prospects at 103.
Now, my question is, since you have the 101 and 103,
or you could roll the dice
and take the 103 and package it with your second or something to move up to the 102 and secure yourself the best quarterback in this draft and Breece Hall, because Nick's not wrong. He is the highest upside quarterback in this draft, and it is not close. And we've seen stellar Senior Bowl, stellar Combine, stellar Pro Day from Malik Willis. But Breece Hall is also a next level prospect. I would put him. I mean, he's not quite Saquon level prospect, but he's maybe a Zeke level prospect. I would put Breece Hall in that Zeke level prospect. The Zeke level prospect conversation there. So considering seconds in this draft might not be the most valuable prospects depending on where your second is. Now, with the 101 and the 103, maybe you have the 201 or the 203. So those can still be valuable. But I would just see if you can try to move up to the 102 from the 103 to secure the best quarterback in this draft and the best overall skill position player in this draft. I would try to do something like that. If you can't, would you go Malik Willis 1 and then see whoever I can get at 103, or would you go Breece Hall 1 and hope that Malik Willis falls?
So I guess to kind of wrap this whole thought process up is, what does the guy at 102 need? Like, what's who at 102? What does that guy's roster look like? And what would what's just like your snowball's guess? Is he thin at running back? Will he take Breece Hall, or do you just know him? Do you know the guy and his mindset and strategy, and does he prefer to go with wide receivers because in general, and therefore he will take Treylon Burks or Garrett Wilson, and therefore you feel good about Breece Hall? If you think, or on the flip, or would he be the one to take Malik Willis if you don't? So that would be my final thought process here. What's the guy at 102 or lady? This is, fantasy football is an all-inclusive situation. What does the person at 102 need? Just from your perspective, just looking at their roster, and then kind of assess from there if you need to or want to make that trade. The trade that John is suggesting, where it's move up to the 103 to move up one spot and throw in a second or whatever. But yeah, depending on what the makeup is of the team with the 102. Yeah, I could go Malik Willis at 101 or Breece Hall at 101 if I feel like if I feel okay about the other one potentially falling to 103. And if all else fails and you're just also content with your just best player available at both spots, then I would say Malik Willis is in play at 101. And then just if Breece Hall falls to 103, great. If Garrett Wilson is your guy at 103, great.
Yeah. But I do think Nick and I differ. I would go Breece Hall 101. Nick would probably, at this point in time, with what we've seen from the Pro Day and the Combine and the Senior Bowl and everything wrapped up into a nice gift for us, Nick probably, I think, based on what you're saying, you're Malik Willis 101.
In this specific situation, because Alex also has the 103, he's in play. If you didn't have the 103, and on top of that, quarterback's not a major need, then sure, Breece Hall. But in this specific scenario, Malik Willis is in play at the 101 for me. So hopefully that helps.
There you go. I don't think either is a bad pick. I think
and it actually is a woman at 102. See, there you go. Women play fantasy football, and we love to see it.
Boom.
Offered her 101 for the 102 and a 2023 first, and she said she thought this was a weak draft class. Well, she knows her shit. Okay, I would not back out. I would not fall out. I would not go out of the 101. I would not, given that, and that's a pretty nice offer too, to include the 2023 first. So if she says no to that, I'm walking away from any other potential offers. Keep the 101, see what she needs. See what she needs and assess from there.
Agreed.
There you go.
But thank you very much, Alex. Thank you. We hope that answered your question. If you have any more, you already know, throw them in the chat. Where were we?
Jason's question about Kenneth Walker, what he could do with the 103 and 107.
I know Nick is probably targeting Olave at 107. Nick has the 107, and I think you're hoping that Olave falls to 107. If Olave doesn't get picked by the Packers or the Chiefs, he's probably going to be there.
It's going to be between him and Jameson Williams, depending on landing spot, because I am a long-term believer in Jameson Williams. But Olave, I mean, you want to talk about risers. Kenneth Walker's one. Olave, man. Is he the biggest riser?
Yes, from where I thought he was going to be picked. Probably around the turn, maybe fell to 201, but probably
Walker
be 111,
was a first
112.
rounder. Yeah, Walker was a first rounder anyway. Olave, there were some questions as recently as a month ago. Not anymore. Yeah, that's going to be hard to pass him up at the 107, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
One person I'm not drafting, Isaiah Spiller, and we'll get to that later. We will.
I'm lukewarm on him, but I'm not out on him. But okay.
After you hear what I have to say, you might be.
We'll do it later. But anyway,
and Will, interesting thing with Burks that I heard today is that NFL teams might not be as high on Burks as the draft community. We will probably see a wide receiver, if not more than one wide receiver, be picked before Burks in the NFL draft. Because what NFL teams are looking for is not necessarily what the draft community is looking for in their wide receivers. Now, Burks still has the highest upside as an alpha receiver in this draft class, but I mean, it's an interesting thing to say because, I mean, DK Metcalf, he lasted till the third round, right?
Second round.
Second round?
Second
okay.
round. Yeah.
But there were wide receivers picked ahead of him, even though the draft community thought of DK Metcalf as the most bulletproof draft prospect because he was
53.
built like Treylon Burks, but ran in the 4.3s. So, just something to take note of.
64th. He was the last pick of the second round. So he was almost a third round pick. Yeah, NFL GMs know what they're doing. Like, man. Anyway.
And AB, you traded Burrow for Lamar and 207.
That's a win and a half.
I would call that a win. I don't
That's
think
a win and a half. Whoever's giving you mixed reviews, man, whoever told you that you lost the trade I'm sorry, man. That's wrong. I don't care if it's one quarterback or super flex. That's a win. You pick up Lamar, who I still like as a long-term prospect. I know Lamar. Look, the concern, the long-term, the big picture concern with Lamar is obviously his potential shelf life because he's taking hits at a rate that Burrow doesn't. But right now, in this next 3 or 4 year window, there's no way I can put Burrow ahead of Lamar Jackson in any dynasty format. Lamar offers the premium top-tier rushing upside at the quarterback position. Josh Allen is the better overall player. And you can argue Kyler Murray as well, but Lamar's rushing upside is better than anybody else.
Yes. And the reason why Nick is so high on Malik Willis is because he offers the same borderline, the same level.
Tools are similar, yeah.
Yep.
But Lamar can throw the ball. He can throw the ball
very well.
Yes. And the weapons department, there's no slouch there. Mark Andrews is if Travis Kelce is not the tight end one, Mark Andrews is. Marquise Brown just had a 90 catch season and was on pace for a wide receiver one finish if Lamar didn't get hurt. Rashad Bateman is still a prospect that a lot of people believe in. They're getting their running backs back.
That's huge.
Yeah. And they don't throw it to them that much. So that doesn't help Lamar all that much, but it's going to help create more scoring opportunities. And you pick up a draft pick? Yeah, you won. I like Burrow. I don't want to try to poo-poo Burrow. I like Burrow. I think he's going to be a damn good quarterback for the next 12 years. I'm not ranking him over Lamar in Dynasty, in Superflex, or one quarterback. Don't care. Don't care what the scoring is. Even if passing touchdowns are 6 points, the only way is unless you play in some weird league where rushing touchdowns are like 4 for quarterbacks, which I don't think I've ever heard of before. I just made that up in my head. That's the only scenario where I'm like, okay, maybe you got an argument. That's it. You get the better fantasy quarterback and a draft pick off the hype of Joe Burrow. Win.
And if you're at all worried, considering that the consensus on this draft class for quarterbacks is that it's a lower caliber as a whole draft class for quarterbacks, you could probably, if you want to hedge your bets, you can probably pick up a quarterback with the 207. Maybe a Desmond Ridder falls to you at a 207, and then out of Joe Burrow, you got 2 rushing quarterbacks. One of them very high end, and the other probably a project, but someone that could turn into a Jalen Hurts level prospect in his own right. So, yeah, just something to think about. But no, I'd feel very good about that trade. And well, maybe not. Maybe not. Don't give Nick hope, but maybe not.
Yeah. No comment on Clyde.
You don't want to talk about it? All right.
Yeah, I mean, he's close to a bust. He's teetering on bust. Because he's going into his third year, I won't quite say like confirmed, no question. But that's like he's running out of time by the day. And they just had Ronald Jones in for a workout. Yeah, like he was healthy in the playoffs and got out-touched by Jerick McKinnon.
Hey, what I will say,
yeah,
because CEH is probably going to be a passing down back, and that was the narrative on him coming in. Again, Brian Westbrook comps all over the place, and that's what got everybody so hyped.
Yep.
If you look at some of the other pass-catching specialists or just pass-catching centric backs in the NFL, a lot of them don't pop off early. A lot of them don't. Historically, you look at it. James White took a while. Deion Lewis took a while. Austin Eckler took a while. Is there an offense that you would rather have a running back in from a just looking at the quarterback standpoint?
No,
there's probably a few, but the Chiefs' offense is
Buffalo would
still,
be good.
Yeah, but the Chiefs' offense is still very well thought of, and now they're hurting for targets.
Yeah. True. Right? Yeah, I mean Tyreek has a floor of 120 targets. A floor. Actually, what's Marquez? I'm gonna look up really quick if we can move on to whatever's next. Just Marquez Valdez-Scantling's career high in targets.
All I know is I agree with Kyle. MVS is getting $10 million a year to do cardio in red and white. I like that.
He's going to be doing some. He's going to look good doing wind sprints out there, man.
Boom. I like that.
Him and Mecole. Sorry, Mecole. MVS's career high in targets was his first year, actually, when he had 73. In 4 years, and actually, he's already 28. Wow. Or he's 27, or he'll be 28 this year. 73 targets his rookie year, then 56, 63, 55. Now, he missed time last year. Actually, he was probably on pace for his... Last year, he was on pace for his most targets, but he missed.
And there were weeks last year where we were higher on him than some, but it flip-flopped at least last year between him and Allen Lazard. We were high on MVS for some weeks, and then Allen Lazard got hot, and we were high on Allen Lazard, so... I mean, I don't know.
He averaged 21 yards a catch in 2020. Okay.
Interesting.
Wind sprints, baby. But anyway. Let's move right on down.
Yep. Hunter L. Then the Packers would get pushback for paying DK and not Devontae. I mean...
Yeah, probably. But then they could just spin it as, well, DK's 4 years younger. But yes, the Packers fans would probably not be happy. They would be like, why didn't you just pay Devontae more dollars? We understand DK is younger, but now we're out 2 first-round picks.
And the quarterback needs to build rapport with them. And the wide receiver needs to come in, learn the offense. I mean, there's a lot of other factors in there, too.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and Will's right. The money was not the issue. Money was not the issue.
Adams wanted
player
out.
Player empowerment, man. This is the off season of player empowerment. That is one of the reasons why we're seeing so many moves with so many high profile skill position players and quarterbacks. Yeah. Rojo price check if Casey actually signs him.
What's Rojo? What is his ADP right now? It's I think it's nothing for any.
I mean, I feel the same way about the price check on Rojo as I would about price check on MVS.
Sure,
I would. We've seen Rojo with
172,
an elite quarterback in Tom Brady, and they wanted other guys repeatedly. over and over again. They wanted other guys. And we saw him in
yeah.
there. Yeah, he had a few games where he rushed well and he looked okay, but the versatility he brought to the table just did not play out in the long run. And kind of same thing with MVS. So different positions, but I feel the same way about Rojo and MVS. If I have him, I'm trying to sell it, Rojo on the hype and trying to sell MVS on the hype too.
Would you try to sell Juju on the hype?
I already told you I would be trying to move Juju into a Tyreek Hill. Yeah, because now the thought process on Juju is that he's going to be a wide receiver 1 for this team.
Well, yeah, like right now, today, take Kelsey out of the equation, just the wide receiver room, he is the team's number 1. And
we've seen Juju put up 1,400-yard seasons before, and he has been one of the better slot receivers in the NFL. But if there's a way that you can move Juju Smith-Schuster for Tyreek Hill, I'm entertaining that or trying to get that done. Juju
went to first.
Juju went a second. I honestly think the thought, like the people's projections for what Juju will be able to do in this offense are so high right now that you can probably get some astronomical returns for Juju right now. I think you can, and you can sell people on. Look what he did with 36-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, 35-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. 1,400 yards in Ben Roethlisberger's age 36 season. So yeah, and that's not to say that I don't think that Juju can do well. I think he can be a wide receiver 2 with some wide receiver 1 weeks thrown in there. But again, sell high when the value is highest, and right now on Juju, the value is highest right now.
Yeah. Speaking of value, what's going on, Slim? What's
happening, Slim?
Question about Waddle's value now that Tyreek is in the fold. In Dynasty, hold, because there's gonna be a perceived drop in value with Jalen Waddle. Like anybody who comes calling for Jalen Waddle is trying to get a bit of a discount because of the addition of Tyreek Hill. So don't bite. Don't bite in any scenario. Still love Waddle long term. They're very similar players, but they're Waddle's not coming off the field for Waddle will just go into the slot and catch 100 balls this year. And
look at what Waddle did while getting all of the opposing defense's focus last season. He broke the rookie reception record.
Yup.
Waddle's no slouch. Hey, if you have Juju, see if you can get Waddle plus.
Yeah. There's another.
That's something that I would entertain. See if you can get Waddle plus.
Yup. Right.
And you might take a loss for a year. Juju might look better for a year.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's something that I would do. Try to get Waddle plus if I have Juju.
Ooh, that would be highway robbery, but yeah.
Yeah.
For redraft purposes, kind of just to John's point, you might take a loss for a year. So Jalen Waddle's redraft ADP right now is 23. He was going at the end of the second round, top of the third round. People already were thinking very highly of him. I would say that's definitely now a tough sell for what we expect to be the team's wide receiver 2 in what we don't know yet to be a high volume passing offense. Could it be? We hope so. Can Tua support multiple high-end fantasy options? We hope so.
I think we will see more out of Tua than everybody's thinking. Remember, this is a this is a team that the GM was trying to get them to lose games.
Right.
There was dysfunction all over the place in this that they were benching Tua for Ryan Fitzpatrick at that point in time when they were on the same team together.
In and out of the lineup, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean they were benching him for Jacoby Brissett last year at points. Like it's been weird for Tua.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
But now it looks like they're all in. They're going balls to the wall. So we're probably going to see more out of Tua. This is a crash and burn situation. If you got the keys to the car, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And you got to
to the metal, right?
With a Kyle Shanahan protege as your head coach. And to that point, they brought in Raheem Mostert. They brought in Chase Edmonds. Like, this offense it's going to be Shanahan-esque. Just checking really quick Waddle's redraft ADP. It's not changed so far, but it's only also been like 24 hours since the trade. But yeah, still an ADP of 23. I'm not buying at that cost. But if I'm let's say in redraft or best ball, let's say my pick is the 111 or the 112. I'm at the turn. I'll take Jalen Waddle at the top of the 4th. See what the guy at the turn, or if I have the 110 or the 111, see what the guys at the turn are doing. Maybe try to get away with not drafting him in the 3rd round if he slips to the top of the 4th. I'll still take that. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I want to see a slight discount. I want to see the ADP come down now because I don't want to draft a wide receiver. As excellent as Waddle is and will be, I don't know if I want to draft a team wide receiver 2 because he's now the wide receiver 2 in the 2nd round with a still, as much as we want to believe in Tua and the hype around this Dolphins offense, we have not seen him support multiple high-end fantasy options yet, and we haven't even talked about Mike Gesicki. So I want to see Waddle's value come down, maybe say 10 spots, almost basically a full round. I'm looking at let's see it come down a full round, and I'm still in. This isn't a situation where I'm all the way out, but I do need to see the value drop a little bit. If he's still going top of the 3rd, middle of the 3rd in best balls and redrafts, I'm probably going to let that slide. I'll let him go in that situation. But coming down to the bottom of the 3rd, top of the 4th, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, don't let the recent moves blind you to the fact that Jalen Waddle is really good.
He is good.
Yeah. Jaws, what's happening? Miko back with a pulse.
He's not dead yet. He's like a Monty Python skit. We're not dead yet. He's still there, man.
Yo,
he's
Alex,
still there.
Thank you so much for becoming a member. Much appreciated.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. That's super exciting.
Yeah, man. Look at Alex becoming an all-pro. All right.
Yeah. We will have stuff. We will have stuff for that, including member leagues, So we'll definitely
stick around till the end of the stream, and we'll talk a little bit about.
We'll get you set up. We'll get you hooked up. Appreciate it. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, super exciting. Yeah, welcome aboard. Happy to have you, man. But with Miko, yeah, I mean, look, those
emojis look fresh. Yeah,
they look cool. They look nice. They look nice. I like it.
Sorry,
I like it.
Go for it.
Nah, I like it. It looks good. Yeah, Jaws, I mean, with Miko, I mean, Juju is not stepping into the Tyreek role. Juju is maybe stepping into the role that the Chiefs were hoping Miko would take. And he's probably going to Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to be on the outside. And Juju will be as well, especially when they're in 2 receiver sets. But when they're running 3 and 4 wide, I would expect Juju to come inside. So Miko might be the other burner on the outside where it's like, okay, let's see if you can get open 15 yards downfield just by using your raw speed. Like I said, about 120 targets just got vacated. Juju's going to soak up a lot of them. But don't forget, Byron Pringle's targets are also vacated, and Demarcus Robinson his targets could be vacated. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the Demarcus Robinson and Byron Pringle targets are, but I mean, we're looking at upwards of 200 targets when you factor in Tyreek, are likely what's vacated there. So Juju's not taking all of those. He might take half of them. He'll take more than half. He'll probably take 120 himself, or at least over 100. But Miko's opportunity is clear if they don't add anybody else of significance, which they still could. But kind of like kind of like a Brian Edwards. Is Miko going into his third year now? Is this his third season?
I believe so. I mean, he was a second round pick.
Right. All is not totally lost. But time, like CEH, time is running out.
There is a speedy wide receiver clicking 3 years, 4 years into his career is not unheard of.
No, not at all.
One of Nick's favorite players a few years ago was Smokey Brown, John Brown.
Love John Brown.
It took him a few years, and he was a speed receiver who didn't get really going until his third, fourth year.
Yeah. I think he had injury issues to start his career, but the point still stands. Like, he eventually put it all together. Let's put it this way. He eventually got to a point where he was playing 15 games a year. So, sometimes that can also be a factor, and it's just a maturity thing. It's a taking care of your body type of thing, and maybe that's a conversation for maybe Smokey, less so Miko. Smokey also had that weird sickle, not anemia. Weird. He had sickle cell anemia, not weird, wrong word, just like a unusual, unfortunate health condition that he had to overcome. Miko, maybe he just needs some experience. Maybe he needs just like a little bit more of maturity. That can happen. We forget sometimes. These guys are 22-year-old millionaires. Like,
and for a long time, and you've been one of the people who's been hammering the table on this. The thought process when looking at the Chiefs was that Mahomes and the Chiefs and this offense can really only support two fantasy relevant wide receivers or two fantasy relevant receiving options, and then everybody else is just picking up scraps. Maybe there just wasn't room for Miko to really pop off, and
right.
I know,
right.
And maybe they just liked, even though because they had Tyreek Hill and the dimension that he brought to the table, maybe they just needed that different dimension of receiver in Demarcus Robinson, and this is a lot of explaining to get there, but in Demarcus Robinson and in Byron Pringle, and that's why we saw him out there at the expense of a Miko Hardman. Now, Miko Hardman also had some kind of boneheaded drops and plays throughout his tenure thus far, but hey, stranger things have happened. That's all I'll say. So right, Miko is back with the pulse.
Yeah, he's got a pulse. When you have Tyreek and Travis Kelce, those are players that command targets. Like you. It's not a matter of the Chiefs can't support other players. It's more or less, why would you when you have two elite players? And now they don't. Now they have one. So yeah, Miko lives for now.
And I'm just gonna address this because I see it right in front of me. Mike Lopez, what's happening? MVS or Mike Williams? It's Mike Williams. It's not even close. So just to hammer that in real quick. Slim, don't mention Josh Gordon right now. Be still my heart, man. Don't mention Josh Gordon right now. Do not do that to me. Damn. Am I about to pick up Josh Gordon in every league I'm in?
Yes.
I think it might happen.
Yes.
And Rojo Fish, man, if y'all ever get an opening in a league I want in, hey, speaking of it, just because we got our first member in here, and Alex, you are our first member, so thank you very much. Again, for that. Part of the thing that we're offering with memberships is the opportunity to be in a league with us.
Yep.
So if you guys are interested in that, now that the seal has been broken, Alex broke the seal. We want some of y'all to become members, and so we can have and hold.
If you want
to.
If you want to. Yes. But yeah, part of that would be we're gonna make we'll put a league together. We'll put a league together. John and I will co-commission it. We'll take care of all of the setup and everything, and we can cater it how you guys want. If you want it to be a guillotine league or something else that's kind of creative, instead of like a traditional one, we can do that.
Ideally, we would want to have multiple. We'd want to have a guillotine league for the people that want to try it out, and we'd want to have a redraft league, superflex for the people that want to try it out, and we'd want to have a 1 QB league for the people that want to do that. And ideally we would have multiple, but we still got a little bit of ways to go for that. But hey, once again, Alex, thank you very much.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm not going to entertain any more Gordon talk in this chat. I won't. Don't get me started. Slim,
John
I'm
is
thinking of
triggered.
going Spiller and Walker with the 103 and 106. Am I going to talk about Spiller now? Can I talk
You
about
can
Isaiah Spiller right now?
do it because I know you don't think he's worth it at either of those picks.
No.
Especially not the 103. So yeah, you have the floor.
I was very high on Isaiah Spiller. If you go back and look at the draft prospect video that we did on Isaiah Spiller about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago at this point, I was comping Isaiah Spiller to a Leonard Fournette level prospect. And based off of what he showed us at the combine and at his pro day, first off, he didn't run the 40 at the combine, which is a red flag for me. And then, we saw him run a sub 4.6 at his pro day. I'm looking at it right now. Tuesday afternoon update. Scouts clocked Isaiah Spiller with a 4.63 40-yard dash per NFL Network's Jane Slater.
Yep.
That's not good.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette at 6 foot, 228 pounds, ran a 4.51 with a 71st percentile BMI. I mean, on the low end, I compared Isaiah Spiller to a Carlos Hyde. 6 foot, 230, 76 percentile BMI, ran a 4.62. Now, while the 40 times are comparable to a Carlos Hyde, the BMI certainly is not. And I think that matters. Isaiah Spiller, 6 foot, 217 pounds, just means he's not built to carry a full RB1 workload in the NFL. Ran a 4.63 at a 37th percentile BMI. That's not good. You know who that looks like? TJ Yeldon, the guy who preceded Leonard Fournette. Maybe I was just one prospect off when looking at the Jags running backs in years past. Wasn't Leonard Fournette the guy that came in before Leonard Fournette? TJ Yeldon, who had 2 years in the NFL, 4.1 yards per carry his rookie season, and then a sub 4.0 yards per carry his second season. And then somebody came in who was better. An NFL team said, you're not the type of prospect that can get it done. Hunter L., thank you very much.
Hunter, what's going on, man? Yeah. Welcome aboard, dude.
Welcome to the memberships.
Let's go.
Yeah, as a Hall of Fame member,
man.
much appreciated. Throw some emojis in the chat. Do it up.
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to have some more of those for you.
Yep.
We're
got
going to
stuff.
try to come up with some fun ones.
We got stuff coming. We got stuff coming.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. Appreciate it, man.
But basically, Isaiah Spiller, I'm pretty out on him. And I mentioned BMI for running back. It's not predictive because you look at a guy like Elijah Mitchell, he has a 24th percentile BMI, but it doesn't matter because he ran at his pro day a 4.35.
Yeah.
You can have a bad BMI for a low percentile BMI for a running back if you're super speedy. But if you come in and you run a 4.63 at your pro day, not even the combine, your pro day, which means we have to add a 0.05 seconds onto that. So the official time might come in. I mean, I don't, that was an unofficial time. I can't find the official time yet, but that's what they typically do with pro days. They add 0.05 seconds onto a pro day 40 time. So his 40 time now, instead of a 4.63, it's a 4.68, which is terrible. I'm sorry. That's really bad. And for a guy,
not good,
who doesn't project to get a full workload due to his BMI because his body would break down, you need to be electric. He's not electric. So I don't know. I am
Does
all
he-
the way. Maybe
all the way
I'll
out?
be proven wrong. Maybe I will be proven wrong.
Does he go
if
the
he-
way of Trey Sermon? At least so far.
Well, I don't think that's different. It's a different
Different issues.
different circumstances, different issues. I think he goes the way of a TJ Yeldon. I do.
Okay.
I think maybe a team will give him a shot for the first year, 2 years, until they come around to the conclusion that this guy isn't what we imagined he was going to be when we drafted him. He's not quite fast enough, and his body can't hold up to the workload. And then he becomes the secondary, tertiary back in an offense moving forward for the rest of his career. TJ Yeldon's only 28 years old. When's the last time you heard TJ Yeldon called on a game day broadcast? There's a reason for that.
You
Because
haven't.
he's
It's been a
slow.
long time.
And he doesn't have the body type that can hold up to a full-time workload at the running back position. So I'm all the way out on Isaiah Spiller. I'd rather have Rachaad White. And honestly, I'd rather mess around with a different position and draft a running back later in the second round and third round. If you got a first round pick, I'm going wide receiver in this draft. If you're not going Malik Willis, if you can't get Malik Willis, I'm going and Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker. All of, like the rest of the first round should be wide receivers, at least as far as I'm concerned. And then you hope a Rachaad White, a Zamir White, one of those guys, falls to you in the second round.
There you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Now, do you have any thoughts on Spiller? Because
I mean, you pretty much. I was just gonna say
AB.
that.
Look at all these
AB.
members.
at this.
Hey, AB, thank you
at
very
this.
much.
Appreciate it. I appreciate this, guys. Appreciate the support.
Yes, sir.
For real. Looking forward to putting extra stuff out for you guys, and looking forward to, if and when we get to the point where we have 10 or 12, 10, set up these leagues.
Yeah, we're going to have to set aside time for members-only streams. We're going to have members-only streams for you guys. We're going to have members-only content and videos for you guys. So stay tuned, man. It's about to get exciting. Thank you very much for signing up.
Yes, sir. No, I mean, you pretty much covered it. I was just going to say, I appreciate some people joining the Discord as well. We can absolutely continue the conversation there over there as well.
Absolutely.
You covered it. I was just going to say that the 40 time is not necessarily the end all be all, but the argument is pretty compelling, again, regardless of the 40 time to have concerns about Spiller. He's been a faller since the draft process pretty much started, since the pre-draft process pretty much started. And kind of to that, again, going against him, the lower tier running back prospects that were originally kind of being billed as afterthoughts have been risers themselves. So it's tough. It's a tough sell when you're going to, when these wide receivers, like an Olave, like a Jameson Williams, are going to be there at 106, 107, 108, and they make sense at those picks when, you get your Algiers and your Brian Robinsons, and they're risers right now. There are people that like them that you can get them later. So that's working against Spiller as well. Now he's also a faller, and the physical metrics and traits are working against him. It's just, it's not great.
And that's not to say he can't be an outlier. There are outliers in the NFL.
Yeah, we're not rooting against him just because now, because we're off of him. We just have to look at the information provided to us, and then do our own homework and come up with a thought process as a result.
Yeah, I mean, you look at guys in the NFL who are pretty good running backs right now. Isaiah Spiller, one thing coming out that I mentioned in the video, he can catch the ball pretty well. And
he had at least 20
SEC
catches
back,
in all 3 years.
right?
So.
And he can catch the ball pretty well. Another running back who was around 6 foot, can catch the ball pretty well. I don't think he came out of the SEC, but low or in the 4.6s in terms of 40 time, James Conner.
Okay.
So at the very highest end of what we can expect from Isaiah Spiller, it's still decent, but even James Conner had a 67th percentile BMI, and even he hasn't been the most durable running back in the NFL up to this point. But he's 6'1", 233. Isaiah Spiller is 6 foot 217. So there is still there's a difference there.
So there's another knock. Yeah.
Something we gotta take account for. But that's not to say he can't be productive in the NFL. I'm just all the way out because the wide receivers that you can get at the same spot that Isaiah Spiller will be drafted, I believe, will be better for your fantasy team. Or at least sure bets to be better for your fantasy team. Yeah.
There you go. There you have it.
All right.
Where else are you going to get that type of a breakdown?
I'm done talking about Isaiah Spiller. Walker, definitely go try to get, if Walker's available, and I believe
Walker,
he
yes.
will be at 103.
Slim, yeah.
Do it.
Walker, yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he falls to 106. Do you?
I think he falls to. I think he's there at 103, and at 106, I mean, Nick's hoping Olave falls to 107. If you can get Olave at 106, that's probably not a bad pick.
I would say no. No, I would say 6 is fine for Olave.
Yeah.
Because it's got, you assume Burks and Hall are off the board. Assume Garrett Wilson is off the board. Are you going Wilson or Walker?
He says below this, I
need
RB help with only CMC and Mixon and handcuffs. But pick up Walker and then pick up some of those second round running backs, Zamir White, some people like Pierre Strong. Get one of those guys in the second round. In the third round, maybe you can get a James Cook, who might be the best receiving back in this year's draft class, and he's Dalvin Cook's brother. There are backs in this running back class that are rising fast. So you don't feel the need to spend up to get Spiller at 106, considering considering how we think the draft will play out.
Yep.
Or these prospects will play out. But there you go, Slim. Hope that helps.
It's a good breakdown.
Man, I'm just jazzed. We got all these members now. Damn.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I'm excited. Everybody's coming on this trip with us. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, we will have this is our first. This is you guys are our first signups. So, be on the lookout. We'll have stuff for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, stick around till the end of the stream, and we can talk about what day, what time is best for you guys for members only streams, and we can work something out there too, since you are the first movers there. So
yep.
Again, much appreciated. I'm gonna keep thanking y'all throughout this stream. But Hunter L, Tyreek Hill over or under 7.5 TDs next year? What do you think?
What's his so again, I know he's had I mean, let's put it this way. With Kansas City, his floor was like 7 a season. I don't think I'm incorrect in saying that. And that I think that even potentially predates Mahomes. Let me check really quick. I'm inclined to say over. Maybe not significantly over. But again, we're talking about one of the premier talents at the position. I mean, so in Kansas City, his rookie year, he got 6. But 7, 12, 7, 15, 9. So 3 of the past 5 years, he's done it. And the one of the years that he didn't do it, he missed 4 games due to injury. I think if he's healthy, I would say, will he get 8 touchdowns? Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. It might be 8, or you think it's more like a 6 or 7?
If you look at what Jalen Waddle on 140 targets got, and I know Tyreek Hill is a better receiver than Jalen Waddle at this point in time, and factoring in all that, Jalen Waddle got 6 on 140 targets, and that was with no Will Fuller. That was with Gesicki basically as your wide receiver 2. That was with Myles Gaskin and Phillip Lindsay for a few weeks, and then Duke Johnson at the end of the season. But now they have Chase Edmonds, who is a pass catching back. They have Raheem Mostert, who can catch passes. They brought back Mike Gesicki. They brought back their secondary tight end in Durham Smythe. They brought in Cedric Wilson, who is the forgotten man in this whole equation. They brought him in. They still have Waddle. I love Tyreek Hill, and I think he's going to do well. And I think he's going to be set up to have more than 140 targets. I think that's within the realm of possibility for him. I do think they are going to take the training wheels off of Tua. But with the amount of weapons currently in this offense, it's not like it's a one-for-one swap for last year for Waddle to Tyreek Hill, where his secondary wide receivers Mike Gesicki, and he is the only person in this offense, and he's getting all the targets, and he is basically the entire offense. There's a lot of mouths. I hate to say it. There are a lot of mouths to feed. There are.
Yeah.
And that's not to say he can't be fantasy relevant. He's gonna get all the work he can handle. But in terms of predicting touchdowns, I gotta see it from. Again, we're talking about Tua, who's never done it before. Gotta see it.
It's fair. I'll bet on a slight over. You're betting on a slight under. And
for what it's worth, I mean, Tyreek Hill was never the red zone weapon. He just got he got behind the defense, and that's how he scored touchdowns. Or he caught it short and just juke the rest of the defense, and then outrun the rest of the defense. Doesn't even have to juke,
just outrun that, to the house. Yep.
But he's not the typical wide receiver who you think of that you know like a Mike Evans, who's a touchdown monster. I mean, we have seen quarterbacks that can he be Adam Thielen? Maybe.
Tyreek?
In terms of a quarterback that not everybody loves, having rapport with a wide receiver.
Oh, Tua to Tyreek.
Ton of, okay. Not a 1-for-1. No, just in terms of Thielen being a touchdown monster. Can Tyreek Hill be that at suboptimal size for a red zone weapon and be that for the sure, he's talented enough, but I don't know if I'm gonna bet that. I don't know if I'm gonna bet on that.
I'll say he gets 8 scores. I'll say he gets 8 touchdowns. He gets 7. Okay. I mean, and that's the prop. So yeah. This is why Vegas wins. This is why they always take our money, because they know exactly what they're doing. Yep. They got some of the smartest minds in general working for them. I would take a slight over. John takes a slight under. So Hunter, that might not be helpful at all, but
sorry dude.
We gave it our best shot.
But AB, what are your projections for Josh Jacobs in 2022? I'm gonna leave this one to you because you just picked up Josh Jacobs.
I just traded for him. League. Traded for him in a 1 quarterback league. I traded Burrow. Burrow's going to be a trendy quarterback to trade this year because of the different hype and everything. Traded Burrow and the 208 this year for, it is again 1 quarterback, for Jacobs, Jameis, and the 303. So I moved down, was that 7 spots? It's a 12-team league. So I moved down 7 spots in the draft. Picked up Jacobs and Jameis for Burrow. So I feel fine about that move. It's a drop. It's a slight drop in, not slight. It's a drop in quarterback, but I still get a quarterback prospect, and I pick up a running back who has been a top 15 running back every year of his career so far.
I believe so.
It's a top 15 running back every year of his career. Played through injuries last year, and has proven to be a little game script dependent. caught more balls than he ever has last year. Some of that can be attributed to the games missed by the other Raiders players, Henry Ruggs being out, which doesn't directly correlate, but targets are targets. No more Henry Ruggs. Darren Waller missed 5 games. Kenyon Drake missed the rest of the season after week 8 or 9. So targets became available. Jacobs caught more balls than he ever has. Enter Josh McDaniels, who utilizes his running backs historically in the passing game. Some of that can be attributed to the specific skill set of James White in New England, but Josh Jacobs is a more complete running back than James White. I think that's fair to say. And the Raiders last year, I think, were 30th in run block win rate on the offensive line. So there's literally nowhere to go but up. They're almost Bengals bad, or at least the 2021 Bengals bad along the offensive line. There's nowhere to go but up. And again, this is a good draft. This is a great draft to have a need at running or at offensive line. This draft class is deep at offensive line. I would be willing to bet the house and the beach house that the Raiders are going to invest some draft capital in the offensive line. I think all the pieces are in play. And did the Raiders sign Brandon Bolden?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. Okay. So, but Bolden's a change of pace guy.
He's not even that. He's a special teamer.
He's a special teamer.
Into a role last year because James White was hurt.
So there you go. Could spell Jacobs here and there, but yeah, he's a deep depth option. Not too concerned about that. Kenyon Drake still being there. He's going to vulture targets. He's going to be the third. He's gonna get third down back opportunities. I think Josh McDaniels is a better modern version for an NFL offense than a John Gruden led coaching staff presents. And I believe that with Josh Jacobs' floor, he continues to remain undervalued. Is he a league winner? Not ready to go there. Is he a top 10 running back? Like a slam dunk? With Kenyon Drake in healthy, not ready to go there. But he has proven what his floor is, and his floor is a rock-solid RB2 coming through with volume. He gets a coaching upgrade, and you can chart it any way you want. He should be looking at an upgrade in some way, shape, or form along the offensive line. Factor in a Devontae Adams, who is the type of player like a Tyreek Hill who opens everything up for the rest of the offense. Yeah, Jacobs might see some fewer targets this year, especially with a healthy Darren Waller back. But this offense just got a boost in the form of Devontae Adams. And with Josh McDaniels in tow, I think more scoring opportunities are going to be there for Jacobs. I think he delivers, and I think he's right on the low-end RB1 borderline as of today.
Speaking of Josh Jacobs, his pro day.
What did he run at his pro day?
4.64.
Yeah, he's not fast. He's not going to beat you with his speed. There's no doubt about that.
You know what his BMI is, though? 81st percentile. 5'10", 210 pounds.
There you go.
So, again, there's that correlation there. You might not be the fastest running back in the NFL, but you can handle a 3-down workload if you have the requisite BMI. And again, don't think Isaiah Spiller has that. But, I agree for the most part with your Josh Jacobs. I think he will be underrated. And he's young.
He's still very young. He's still only 23. He's still only 23.
He just turned 24.
Okay, sorry. Just turned 24. Sorry.
But still, to have 3 years of RB1 production under your belt and only be 24 years old.
Pretty good.
I mean, that's the same age that I think, is he younger than Najee Harris?
He's like the same age.
He's the same age as Najee Harris. Najee Harris only has 1 year of RB1 production under his belt. So,
and I think I did mention this, but Jacobs battled multiple injuries last year. So if he's able to shift back the other way and stay a little bit more healthy, maybe the efficiency goes up a little bit.
Yep.
If he's not laboring as much. So yeah, I feel fine about Jacobs. I'm not going to go ballistic. He's not top 5, but he's rock solid, steady, safe RB2 guy. Might hurt you here, like weeks here and there, where if games get out of hand and the Raiders are getting blown out, but they might not get blown out as much when you add a player of Devontae Adams caliber. I think the arrow is pointing up on him.
Yep. I would agree. And man, I love to see those emojis in the chat. That's all.
That's so
cool.
pretty. That's so
cool.
pretty.
It's gonna be more where that came from.
Yes, sir.
But we got to Mike. Thanks for the like, Rojo. We got to Mike's question there. Mike Williams for sure.
Yeah, Mike Williams over MVS in the Dynasty League. Yeah, no doubt.
And Brett, what's going on? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Brett?
Yeah, we touched on the Green Bay DK situation earlier. We don't see it happening. It would be weird for them. It would be weird.
The Seattle has who are their building blocks? Like DK is it. I think Seattle has to be absolutely blown away. And the Packers don't historically, they build from within. They don't trade their draft picks. They don't go nuts in free agency. They're a team they traditionally and historically build through the draft. Like they build organically. That is their bread and butter. They have very rarely deviated from that. They do it sometimes here and there, but not that much. DK presents a very interesting opportunity for the Packers, but it's going to take 2 first-round picks and maybe a little extra. And I don't even know if Seattle wants to do that, because again, they are razor thin on building blocks. DK might be the only one.
Dwayne Eskridge?
No.
Freddie Swain? Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about in terms of young players on that team. Yeah. Noah Fant is probably their building block if they get rid of DK. That's it. It's Noah Fant, and maybe you're hoping that Rashad Penny works out in the long term because he's been sparely used throughout his career thus far.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that's not something that I would be betting on if I was the Seattle Seahawks GM. No. And Rojo, and just to everybody, if anybody else is interested in becoming a member, if you scroll down on the stream that you're on right now, right next to it'll say join. Right next to our logo and face mask fantasy, right above the description. So if you are interested at all, there you go.
If you're interested, yeah.
Thank you. No pressure.
No, of course not.
We love hanging out with you, with everybody in the chat this way too, but that is where it is.
Yeah, little join button.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go, boys. Let's turn up.
103 and the 201 for her 102. Okay.
See what she says. Yeah, see if she'll take it. It's not a bad offer. Pick up a second-round pick for.
No, with the the 201, you're hoping to get like a Jahan Dotson, maybe a Zamir White, and I would rather have. I mean, Kenneth Walker and Zamir White might be a good combo if that's what you end up getting there, but I think I would rather solidify getting Malik Willis and Breece Hall.
I don't hate it.
Because if they both reach their ceiling, you're talking about getting a Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray-like prospect and a Zeke-like prospect.
Yep.
Would you give up the 201 for that? I would.
Yes. Knowing what Zeke did for the first 4 or 5 years of his career, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yes, Slim, that's Damian Pierce from South Dakota.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's been a big time. Or no. Wait, he's the guy from Florida. Hold on.
Damian Pierce, right?
I went to Florida. Why am I blanking on this guy's name? Bad timing. Yeah, Damian's from Florida. Hold on.
Sorry for the dead air, you guys. All right. Well, Nick's looking that up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll. Pierre Strong. Oh my God. Duh. Pierre Strong is South Dakota State.
There you go. But Damian Pierce is another guy.
Damian Pierce went to Florida. Pierre Strong, who has been a riser throughout the pre-draft process. A lot of people are warming up to him big time. He's South Dakota State.
Yeah, Pierre Strong had a great combine.
He's been a big-time riser.
Yep.
Big-time riser.
Very good 40 time. If anybody's looking for next year's Elijah Mitchell, the little-known speed back.
Thank you. Now it's coming together.
That's Pierre Strong. Damian Pierce, I think, was a standout at the Senior Bowl, and projects more like a first and second down running back who probably won't be taken off the field in the goal line. But you're looking at different types of prospects there.
Yeah, that's right. Pierre Strong is being billed as this year's Elijah Mitchell. That's correct.
Got you. But yeah.
And yes, Damian Pierce was the top Senior Bowl running back. So that'll boost your draft stock as well.
There you go. And Logan Hampton, we would love to help you out with your situation. Let us know what your situation is, bro.
Yeah, I think I remember the situation. Logan was I think you dropped the line, and Logan, you correct me if I'm wrong. He's basically got a bunch of Chiefs and Dolphins now on his dynasty team. He had
word. Yeah, I saw your
Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek. So you had the full Chiefs stack. Now Tyreek's a Dolphin, and I think he also has Waddle. So it's just a matter of like what to do. I quickly mentioned, I think they're all holds.
Yeah. You don't want to sell when the value is low, and that's what the value is right now with Waddle and with Tyreek.
The perceived value and Mahomes, the perceived value is down on all of them. I would say the one if you wanted to try to like sell or get a haul, get an absolute haul for somebody, it's Kelsey. Kelsey's the one with the perceived rise in value right now, because you have to figure he's the selling point, and this isn't a hard argument to make, is he's going to get as much work as he can possibly handle. And for the past 6 years, he's been either the tight end 1 or tight end 2. He is as safe a call for that to happen again, especially now without Tyreek Hill. Kelsey could pull in 2 first-round picks, and honestly, maybe a little extra.
Yeah,
depending on who you're talking to. But other than that, I'm holding Mahomes. I'm looking to buy Mahomes. So if you have him, hold. I'm looking to buy Mahomes, and right, there's a perceived drop in value now with Tyreek and Waddle. So I'm not selling them either, unless the person who comes calling is coming with it, and it's still a legitimate offer, and they're like, I don't care about I just want this player. Here's my offer, and it's an offer that would predate the trade. And then therefore it's like, okay, this is something to think about.
Right.
But that's not likely to happen because people are going to try to, they're going to try to get a discount with this move. The one who you could, if you wanted to, if you're a contender, if you're like, I got a top 3 roster, hold everybody. But if it's like you're teetering, Kelsey would be the one to get a haul for.
And he's the oldest, so you're selling the oldest player on one of the old. I don't know what the rest of your team looks like. Probably the oldest player on your team at peak value. And when do you see a 30-something-year-old player at peak value? I think this is the only time that I can think of where a 30-something-year-old is at peak value right now. I mean, even last year we saw Julio Jones moved to another team. He wasn't at peak value. People were down on him before, once he signed to the once he got traded to the Tennessee Titans, and then his value continued to tumble. But yeah, man, the more I think about it, the more I am in on trying to see what you can get for Kelsey right now. Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully that helps, Logan. Thanks for joining.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Jason, where do you think Kyren Williams, this is an interesting name, Kyren Williams goes in a 10-team dynasty PPR? If I get 107, should I try to pick up Olave if he's there?
Yes.
Should I go move down a few spots and get a better, pick
better for Kyren in a 2023?
I'd go Olave.
No, I would just take Olave. Oh, better draft capital, better capital. No, Kyren has been one of the biggest fallers.
Honestly,
Probably-
there's talks that you can get him in the mid-third round.
Probably worse than Isaiah Spiller.
Yeah. No, he's
Probably
definitely
worse.
going to fall farther than Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah Spiller, I
Yeah.
believe, will still be drafted in the first round. Kyron Williams was our RB4 when I, at least he was my RB4 when I was doing the rookie profiles on the running backs. It went Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Walker, Kyron Williams for me. And then Kyron Williams ran a 4.65 at the combine at 5'9", 194 pounds.
Not good.
But there was news right after the combine that he was injured. And you brought that to my attention. I didn't know anything about that. I still really don't know too much about that.
Yeah.
But Kyron Williams is a faller. You don't have to reach for Kyron Williams. You don't.
Nah.
But what do you think about him still? Since you were the one that unearthed the injury speculation news on him post combine, what do you think about Kyron Williams now?
It was speculation. I have yet to see if that was actually confirmed. But let's put it this way. He hasn't quelled those concerns. It's not like the 40 improved. I was leery. I was on the fence about Kyron Williams at the pre-draft process. I'm pretty close to. I think I feel about him the way you feel about Spiller. I'm pretty close to all the way out. He's a slow. I think he projects as a slow Giovanni Bernard, at best.
I think Gio Bernard was built a little bit better too. I think he's a slow James White. Because he was a Gio, when he came into the league,
Tyron can catch passes.
People thought he was going to be their bell cow. He wasn't thought of yet when he first came into the league as a third down specialist, which is what he ended up turning into once Joe Mixon got there. Kyron, throughout the draft process, was thought of as the best pass-catching running back in this year's draft. But he came in light, and he came in slow. And just like Isaiah Spiller, those aren't things that we want to see in our running backs, but that's especially something we don't want to see in a third down specialist. Because they won't get those first and second down goal line touches that where a Isaiah Spiller in the right situation, if he's drafted to the right team, if the coaching staff thinks enough of him, he could still theoretically get those. I don't think Kyron Williams gets a sniff at those. Kyron Williams, my comp for him was a Austin Eckler if he were to reach a ceiling. I don't think there's a chance in hell that he reaches his ceiling.
Small and slow. Small and slow, like Rojo Fish said. Small and slow.
So I like Dameon Pierce, who we talked about, more than I like Kyron Williams.
I'll take the chance on Pierre Strong.
Yeah, him too.
Brian Robinson, Algier. Algier's an interesting player.
Same thing with him. He fell due to a slower 40
He fell,
time.
but he's a bigger. He's a converted linebacker.
He's a first and second down back.
Yeah, he's a converted linebacker. Like, he's a big boy.
If I'm picking a receiving back in this class, I want James Cook. I don't want.
Yeah,
Kyron
James
Williams.
Cook's an interesting. Yeah, he's an interesting option. So, yeah, I think Kyron is not worth, Jason, passing on Olave just to pick up a 2023 pick, as much as we like the 2023 class. Take Olave if he's there.
Probably. Is he not the safest wide receiver in this class? Not named Garrett Wilson.
Feels like it. It feels like he's. Yeah, feels like it.
Yeah,
I think Olave's going to have a nice career. Landing spot's important, but he's got the tools. Yeah.
Hunter L. Is Saquon Barkley even a keeper?
What would be the cost? What would be the cost?
It's an important thing to know before we can give you an answer on that one.
He's not out of the
vacuum. He's a keeper.
Yeah, in a vacuum. I'm still a believer in Saquon, at least for the short term. But cost is key.
Yep.
Yeah, and Kyron, I don't think he had a good combine.
It's crazy because we thought the running back class was weak, and the ones that have risen up.
Yeah.
I mean, two of the ones that we thought would be 4 and 5 in this class, Kyron Williams and Tyler Algiers, have fallen the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been all these other running backs who have gotten the boost. So it's an interesting draft class, man.
I'm not all the way out on Algiers, but yeah, others have risen up.
Yeah, and sometimes a player looks great in college, and it just does not translate to the NFL.
Yeah.
He did look real good on film. But even before the combine, people were talking about, hey, man, if he comes in sub 200 pounds, he's a running back that tried to, for a pass-catching back, tried to bowl over people in college. And people were talking about the one weakness with Kyron Williams pre-combine was that if he were to come in lighter, he wouldn't be able. His play style wouldn't translate to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. He was a great pass blocker, and he will probably be a better NFL pro than a fantasy asset. I still think he gets drafted, goes to a team, probably plays for a while because great pass blocker, stuff like that. But you might be looking at, I don't know. What, Jalen Richard? I don't even know what his measurables are and how fast he ran, but just as a smaller back who always had a job in the NFL. He ran a 4.65 too. Look at that. He ran a 4.65 at 5'8", 207 pounds. Jalen Richard is Kyron Williams is a stockier Kyron Williams.
It's not looking good.
That's the comp.
Yeah.
So proceed at your own risk.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got about 3,000 career yards in 6 seasons. Jalen Richard.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
I was just Jalen. If that's the one of the comps that we want to go with, and that's definitely a solid one. Jalen Richard in 6 NFL seasons has totaled 3,000 yards from scrimmage, rushing and receiving. So that's about 500 a year. I don't know the year by year breakdown, but the point is, it's not looking great for Kyron.
Nope.
No.
But Slim, guy out for me, ETN and the 102 from Mixon.
Dang.
Are you contending or are you rebuilding? That's the deciding factor for me. If you're contending, you keep Mixon and you roll with them because he just got 3 additions to that O-line, and that offense looks as complete as any offense in the NFL and has a great quarterback. But if you're trending towards a rebuild, picking up ETN and the 102 that can become, if somebody really likes Malik Willis and you can get your hands on a Breece Hall or becomes Kenneth Walker, then that's enticing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And you don't see, do you have any comment? What do you think?
ETN is going to be... I mentioned before the stream, actually. I'm happy that this came up. I mentioned before the stream, to the point about some of these running back risers, more than I think we were anticipating in the pre-draft process. A timeshare is going to happen somewhere where we're not currently predicting. Jacksonville seems like a prime spot for that to potentially happen. Doug Peterson's the head coach right now. No, James Robinson is not likely to play this year, or it's going to take some time. We're not going to see him until at the end of the season, I would think. And I believe he's a free agent after this year. Jacksonville is a prime candidate to add a running back.
He is a free agent after this year. Yep.
Jacksonville is a prime candidate to add a running back. Because Doug Peterson with the Eagles, every season he was there, utilized multiple running backs. Miles Sanders had a nice rookie season. but he wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season, and he was still split. As good as he was later in the year, he was splitting time with Boston Scott ultimately. I would expect Jacksonville as a player in the running back department this year. Not one of the top options, but honestly, like an Algiers, one of these bigger guys makes sense to complement Etienne, who does project as more of like a satellite back. I don't think Travis Etienne, I'm not sure we can, even though he was a first round pick, I don't know that we can look at him as a 3-down back. Should be a great pass catcher. Can he handle 350 touches? Coming off an injury?
Oh, no.
I think Jacksonville's a prime landing spot for a running back. Maybe not, not one of the top tier options. Certainly not Breece Hall. And I would say they're not going to bring in Kenneth Walker either. But I would expect that's a spot. And to the point I'm trying to make here is ETN is certainly a buy in Dynasty, but I have some pause giving up Mixon for him. I know the 102.
Put your whole team in the chat. Well, yeah. and you don't see the join button. Refresh the page. Make sure you're signed in. I think you have to be if you're known by your username there. I think you have to be in the chat and to throw supers and all that stuff.
I think so.
But refresh your stream. Get through the stupid ads that are going to come up. Put your team in the chat, and we'll help you work it out. In terms of what, because you say below, you're not sure if you're a rebuild or a go all in candidate, and I know you do have the 103 and the 106 as well. So picking up the 102 is just extra draft capital for you, but it's not like you're lacking in high-end draft capital in this year's draft. So refresh the page, put your team in the chat, and we'll talk you through it. We'll give you our the best advice that we can. But yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't think we have an option to join via Discord.
Not yet.
Is that an option? I don't even know if it's an option.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
These are things we got to work out. We kind of put that on the back burner because we didn't have any members yet. But yeah, the Discord is going to be active moving forward now that we got some members in there, and yeah, we got some stuff to figure out. Once again, thank you very much, Jason.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Or Logan, you said
we
got
to
Mahomes,
that.
Tyreek Hill,
Oh, he has Gesicki too.
You got Gesicki too.
That might be even more reason to see what you can get for Kelsey.
Yes, I think it is.
I love Kelsey, but if you can get 2 firsts plus, which is an absolute asking price, that is fair, given the situation right now, Gesicki would ease the loss of Kelsey a good bit.
Honestly, is it 2 QB? If it's 2 QB,
go get Tua.
I would be trying to hit up that Tua owner so you can keep that stack going.
True.
Yeah.
True. Whoever your QB2 is, because don't give up Mahomes. Yeah.
And I know we're saying that in response to a comment that is right above a comment saying that Kelsey brought a guy to 5 championships and he won 3 of them.
Jeez.
Jason, yeah, that's the caliber of player that Kelsey is, but he also is 33,
that dude.
I believe.
I think he's 32, but he's not. Yeah, he's 32. He'll be 33 in October, so after like the first month of the season.
And we don't see him falling off anytime soon. We think he's going to have a great year this year because of the absence of Tyreek Hill. But
tight ends age well. Tight ends age like quarterbacks. Better than running. He's going
to be playing until he's 36 like Jimmy Graham.
How long did Tony Gonzalez play? Like Kelsey feels like he could do that.
Yeah,
like 38.
Yeah.
So you would be I'm looking up his age now. He's 46 now. Well, that's not. When did he retire? He retired in 2013. That was 8. No, I can do math. 9 years ago. So he was 37. Yeah, he was 30. He was 37.
Hey, no.
Kelsey could absolutely.
When did Jason Witten retire? Didn't he retire and come back and then retired again?
Yes. He was in that 35, 36 range. So let's put it this way. Kelsey's got probably 3 more years of high-end production and then maybe like 1 or 2 more years of decent production, but that's when you're not going to get the haul that you could get now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and he's tied to a great quarterback too. So I mean,
I'm not dying to trade
3 more years, probably 2 to 3 more years of
right.
elite production.
I'm not dying to trade Kelsey, especially since you have the stack. You have Mahomes, but if you can get 2 firsts, including one in 2023, and throw in something else, whether it's like a decent player or another pick, gotta think about it. But yeah, I hear you, man. Kelsey's a league winner. Kelsey's a league winner. The positional value relative to the other guys that he brings to the table outside of, I know Mark Andrews was the tight end 1 last year, but Kelsey's been doing it for 6 years straight. He's a monster.
Yeah. But the fact that you went to 5 championships, you went to 5,
Logan's
and you
top
won
3.
3, Jason.
Logan just, I'm just seeing this now. He said, I'm top 3. Yeah, it would take, then in that case, I would need even more. And I doubt anybody's going to pay that for Kelsey. So just stay put. If anything, see what you can get for Tua. Or see what it would take to get Tua, and you're just rooting. You are just a Chiefs and Dolphins fan for the rest of your life.
I would chase that stack with how many players you got on your team now. I would.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably smart.
Yep.
But yeah, Kelsey's consistency has been unrivaled. Really,
he's a rock.
It's been unrivaled.
The Rock.
Yep.
He's so good.
And Logan, good to hear. Good to hear. Hopefully, we can bring you to many more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, you love to see it. Love to see it.
And Slim, we will check out joining via Discord. We will.
Yeah, I don't know what to. Yeah.
I don't know why it's not working for you.
I don't know.
You know what? Send us an email at facemaskpod@gmail.com. That's the email, right?
I think it is. Yeah, facemaskpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, and we'll try to work that out for you. We'll try to see if there's anything we can do on our end. Maybe try a different browser.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, but we can at least give you an answer on your team situation here. You got Tua, Jameis at quarterback. All right, CMC. Okay. Tua gets a big boost.
So that's right. I remember that from Tuesday that he had two.
I remember talking CMC, Mixon, and then a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cause I think Lamar, maybe Lamar was like a potential trade candidate. I think was what we were maybe talking about. But no, Tua's a hold now.
And Gus Edwards, we're both feeling better about. I mean, he had 3 seasons, back-to-back seasons of 700 yards rushing, which isn't phenomenal, but very good for a secondary back. You should be able to replicate that this upcoming season, and he got a fair share of touchdowns in his 3rd year too. So Gus is an older running back, but I like him. Madison, love Madison. Whenever he gets his shot at a full workload, he performs like an RB1. So love Madison. We both like Gainwell. Rojo, I'll try to see if you can move off of Rojo based off of the hype that he might be going to KC. But you got Jefferson, Waddle, Mooney. Great 3 wide receivers.
Love it.
Schultz,
to a Waddle
Smith,
stack.
And Troutman. So we like your tight ends too.
Good young tight ends.
In terms of whether you should be trading Mixon for ETN in the 102, if you do that, you should also be trying to trade CMC.
Yeah.
You should make 2 moves. 3 moves, really. You should trade Mixon for ETN. And this is... Do you see if you can trade CMC first before you trade Mixon?
That's what I was literally just thinking. Like, see if you can do CMC for ETN, the 102, and something else. Screw it. Ask for a 2023 first in addition. Offer to throw a 2nd round pick in return and just be like, it's Christian freaking McCaffrey.
Right.
Like, do you want this guy? If you get ETN, the 102, and then...
Or even CMC
else.
To a different team, just so that you know that you're getting rid of this depreciating, aging asset at running back.
Yep.
Only then would I be trading Mixon, because right now with CMC and Mixon, with those two guys, two competent quarterbacks, really good wide receivers, and a young tight end core, you're set up well. You are. But if you want to go all in on a rebuild, which you might want to do, considering your wide receiver depth isn't phenomenal, then I would see if you can. I wouldn't leave it at trading Mixon for ETN in the 102. I would see if you can trade CMC first, maybe not even to that owner, and then trade Mixon for ETN in the 102, and probably see if you can get a little bit more out of Mixon than just ETN in the 102. But to me, you got a young team with two aging assets at the position that ages the fastest in the NFL.
Yep.
So I would try to sell CMC and Mixon. I would try to sell CMC and Mixon, knowing that you're going to be getting the 102 if you make those moves in combination with more, because you'd be getting something for CMC. You'd be getting a haul for CMC too, plus you have the 103 and 106, one of which will be Kenneth Walker at running back. Maybe you can see if you can try to get into the 101 spot with CMC somehow, and you can turn CMC into Breece Hall, and then then you're just rolling, because then you got two good, decent to good quarterbacks. You got Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker and ETN.
I like this.
Plus, and you got Jefferson, Waddle, Mooney, and whoever you draft at 106, Olave.
The draft capital,
that's great.
right.
That's phenomenal. Yep. And then you got a really good tight end group. So that's what I would do.
Cooking with gas. Cooking with gas.
Move CMC and Mixon, both of them, this offseason.
Add in a third-round pick and draft Jelani Woods.
Yo, we haven't even talked about Jelani.
We haven't even talked about John's swooning over his new favorite person. We haven't even talked about Jelani Woods.
Don't get me started. This is the tight end Josh Allen.
Slim, you want to talk about
Josh
Gordon? You want to talk about RAS? John will talk another hour about Jelani Woods' RAS score, baby.
Hey, look, don't get me started.
Jelani Woods is John's new Josh Gordon. I'm calling it right now. At least for now. Jelani Woods is
literally when I saw what Jelani Woods' RAS was, I texted Nick, "I'm in love," like 6 times.
I've never heard the words "I'm in love" from John until today.
And then I texted him a picture of Jelani Woods' RAS score. Let me pull this up.
It was nothing short of literally perfect.
Let me pull this up, and then we'll get Iron. Good to see you. And then we'll get to Iron's question on Marlon Mack. How does Jelani Woods affect Marlon Mack? Let's see here. Jelani Woods.
Jelani MF Woods.
All right, the chat is gonna blink out of existence for a sec, because I'm gonna bring up
you screen sharing here.
Yeah.
Screen sharing here.
Yeah, the chat. You can actually still see the chat. I don't know if I should. There we go. All right. This is the RAS chart for 2022. And if you look, Jelani Woods all the way up at the top. Jelani Woods' RAS is 10. Jelani Woods at the tight end position has the highest RAS of any tight end ever measured on the scale of relative athletic score. He is more of an athletic specimen at the tight end position than Kyle Pitts and literally anybody else.
Not that we're projecting him to be better than Kyle Pitts. Oh, this is a weird. This looks weird.
What?
The chat is still over top of the.
Yeah, no, I fixed that. Just wait.
Okay, cool.
Just wait.
There we go. There it is. There it is.
But yeah, Jelani Woods. I was thinking maybe he could fall to the 4th. Maybe I'd get him in the 4th. Maybe he'd be an undrafted free agent type, and I could pick him up after the draft.
No, sir.
I don't think that's happening. Happening.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that score.
Yeah. The guy.
Oh, missed Hunter. Real quick, Hunter. I see the keeper rate for Saquon. We will get to that. Sorry.
Yes.
We will get to that.
You got me started on Jelani, and
I know that's my bad.
Sorry,
that's my bad.
It's
my bad.
But now, while we're on it, I mean, does anybody not know why I like RAS for tight ends at this point? I feel like I've hammered that into
You've
everybody's
spoken it
brains
into
at this point.
existence. That's a members only video that maybe we can put together.
That's going to be the first members only video. Is my
talk
deep
about
dive
RAS
into why I love RAS. But just
and as it
looking
pertains
at
to tight ends.
Yeah. And actually wide receiver to a certain extent, but we'll get there.
Oh.
We'll get there.
Oh boy,
We'll get
now
there.
we're going down the rabbit hole.
I mean, if you look at RAS scores, the best RAS scores for a wide receiver is Kevin Johnson.
That makes
sense. Who's close? Close fourth, I think. Chase Claypool. The athletic.
He's a
hyper athletic wide receivers.
He is. Yep.
It matters.
He's very athletic.
But if you look at the tight end class, well, I'm just going to do a little bit of an overview for the tight end class for 2022. Look at everybody in green here. Do you see the name Trey McBride? Because I don't.
I don't.
Look down here.
Is our boy Dolce? Is our boy Dolce and Gabbana? Is he on here?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
there you go.
8.15.
That's
but
not
even
okay.
going
That's
down
not
all
over
the way
9,
to
but that's not bad.
6. Trey McBride ain't on there. Trey McBride is getting a lot of love as the TE1 in this year's draft, and I am not going to be drafting him. I'm not. And if you want to see why, join the members. Join as a member, and we'll
that
you'll be
video
able to
is
see the RAS video.
Video's coming out.
Yeah, but a couple of guys that I am looking at as. I mean, when you have 4th round picks, you're like, dude, what am I gonna do with these 4th round picks? Who's gonna be there in the 4th round that I can scoop up? That's gonna mean anything for my team at any point in time in my future dynasty life. Charlie Kolar, Daniel Bellinger. Look at Charlie Kolar.
It's pretty good.
9.76. Look at his comparable. Tyler Eifert. Gotta love it. I'll take Tyler Eifert in the 4th round.
I don't see the comparable on the screen share.
There we go.
Okay.
2 of his highest comps, Tyler Eifert and Logan Thomas. I'll take a guy that comps to Tyler Eifert and Logan Thomas in the 4th round.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let's go back to Daniel Bellinger, somebody that I really liked. Pre-draft 2. Look at his comps. Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen, Dallas Goedert. It's a great top 3 comp.
Those are ridiculous.
I mean, now, will those comps come to fruition? Is Daniel Bellinger going to turn into Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen, or Dallas Goedert? No. But athletically speaking, he compares to them. So he has the upside of them if he can nail down the finer aspects of playing the tight end position. And that's what we're looking for in RAS. That's the appeal of getting a tight end with an elite RAS. Just means they're better at being a pure athlete than everybody else. So, if you have a 4th round pick, spend it on Charlie Kolar, Daniel Bellinger. If you have a 3rd round pick, I would reach in the 3rd round for a Jelani Woods. In the 2nd round, I was thinking, before I really dug into Trey McBride's RAS score, that I was going to be taking Trey McBride sometime in the 2nd round. Nah, letting somebody else do that now. And you should too. But there you go. I'm done.
Bam.
I'm done. Let's go. Let's get to Hunter's question.
Yeah, let's get I guess I have I guess I should have mentioned while you were going through this. I guess my follow-up is what is the budget?
Oh, damn, did the chat disappear? The chat disappeared.
Did it disappear? Okay.
I apologize, guys.
Will it start to like filter back in?
I believe so. Somebody put some emojis in the chat. Do it.
Yeah, apologies for that, but we can still see it. We can still see everything that have been put into this point.
Yeah.
Hunter, with the $75, yeah, if it's like a $400 budget, something like that, then yeah, I would say Saquon's worth it. If it's like more along the lines of $200, might let him go and see if I can get him at a discount. Actually, even 400. Well, if it's depending on if it's a super flex format. Basically, I think Saquon, the opportunity is there for a bounce back. There are still some questions that Saquon has to answer himself that it's a question mark. He's going to have to answer it on the field. Does he still have the same athletic burst that made him the high end, one of the elite prospects that we've ever seen? Does he still have that? This is still a very bad offense in New York. The Giants still have a very bad offense that is working against Saquon, and in the limited time that he has played since compiling some of these injuries, has worked against him. Devontae Booker is gone. Also, I know Saquon was coming off the injury last year, but Devontae Booker, it wasn't great. It wasn't pretty, but he was like more efficient than Saquon. They just brought in Matt Breida, who had a nice little cup of coffee with the Bills and in limited work looked okay here and there. Again, Devontae Booker and Matt Breida do not compare to Saquon Barkley as a player, but if Saquon's athletic capabilities have been lessened because of the injuries that he has accumulated over the past couple of years.
And there has been a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries. There's some concern. I like buying Saquon at a discount right now. I'm willing to still take a shot because I see him in redraft falling to the 3rd round.
You also got to take into account that the new coaching staff, we have never seen sustained production from the running back position for the duration of Brian Daboll's stay in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Now Saquon is, again, better than anybody in Buffalo.
And so I also think it depends on whether or not the Giants go all in at O-line with their 2 picks in the top 10 picks, 5 and 7. If they go all in on O-line to solidify Saquon Barkley's running lanes, I think that helps. And I think that shows a commitment to running the ball and a commitment to one of the better running backs in the NFL. But in terms of commitment, we've heard rumors throughout this offseason that the Giants might be wanting to move on from Saquon Barkley. So it's tough. It's tough. You don't have to. I don't think you'll have to make that decision now. So you can see how the draft goes, see where they go if they invest in their O-line, which I think they should early in the 1st round, hopefully twice.
This is the class to do it. Yup.
And then you can make the decision, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't make you make that decision before the NFL draft. That would be kind of wild.
It'd be a little crazy.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with most of your thoughts there. Iron, we skipped your Marlon Mack question because we were talking about RAS with tight ends and Jelani Woods. But Marlon Mack, fully removed from his Achilles tear, seemed to have gotten at least his legs back under him in Indianapolis last season. But obviously didn't see the field because of the presence of Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor. But now there's a rumor that he is getting a look at the Houston Texans RB1 job.
It's wide open.
So he's a hold for me if he's on your dynasty team. He's on a dynasty team that I have, and I'm holding him. I'm hoping he goes someplace good.
Right, he's got no value, but Right, or his value is very low right now, so I wouldn't try to sell. Let's see if Houston's probably about the best case scenario for Marlon Mack, because there's not a more wide open backfield I can't think of.
Yeah, they sign Dario Gunbowale?
They brought in a Gumbawale, yeah.
And
still
they
Rex
still have
Burkhead.
David Johnson.
Johnson's a free agent now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a free agent now.
Okay. So yeah, I like Marlon Mack as a speculative running back to have on your squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's hope that he can come back fully from that Achilles tear. Now 2 years removed.
Right.
Because he was a running back that I liked when he was in Indy and had the full workload there.
That's good. Yeah, he was explosive before the injury. Yeah. Right now they have Rex Burkhead, Royce Freeman, and Daria Gumbawale. Marlon Mack can absolutely beat out all three of those guys. So that would be a great situation.
And we have come to the end of the chat, but we got one more question regarding RAS. And everybody who became a member today, stick around. When we get to the very end of the chat, we're going to have a little bit of a talk about just memberships moving forward and how we're going to handle it in terms of members-only live streams and all that stuff. But Christian Watson, I'm going to show my screen again.
Do it.
Because we're talking about RAS again, and I have the page still up. This is all-time RAS scores for wide receivers. Now, you asked about Christian Watson. There is a wide receiver in this year's draft class that has a higher RAS than Christian Watson and even Calvin Johnson. He is the only wide receiver to have an RAS score above or equal to Calvin Johnson, and that's Isaiah Weston from Northern Iowa. And he is somebody that you could probably get in the 3rd or 4th round because he's getting absolutely no buzz right now. And look at the company
so
he's in.
Round.
Calvin Johnson. Round. Joe Webb converted to a quarterback, so we can kind of leave him out. Matt Jones was drafted in 2005. We can leave him out. Chase Claypool, and I'm saying leave him out just because the NFL's changed a lot since then, and I've never heard of Matt Jones in my life. But Chase Claypool, we already know
he was a wide receiver.
We already know what Claypool can bring to the table athletically. Moritz Boehringer was a transfer over from Germany where he played in NFL Europe. Didn't amount to anything. He was on the Vikings for a while as their 5th or 6th wide receiver, so we can leave that name out. But directly below Moritz Boehringer, Hall of Famer Andre Johnson, future Hall of Famer Julio Jones, a very good wide receiver in Vincent Jackson, R.I.P. Javon Walker, who was a wide receiver for the Packers and the Seattle Seahawks before, I believe, off the field and on the field issues and some injuries derailed his career.
I think some injuries, and he went to the Raiders when they were a train wreck.
Right. And then comes Christian Watson. And then you got a list of players that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. Roy Hall, Miles Boykin, Brashad Perryman, Jeff Janis, Cody Latimer, Scott Long, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards was good for a couple of years.
Braylon Edwards was good for a while, but look at the guys that he's in company with. Isaiah Weston, Calvin Johnson, Chase Claypool, Andre Johnson, Julio Jones, Vincent Jackson, Javon Walker, who was very good, and then even Christian Watson. So those are two guys that can be had. You can probably get Christian Watson in the late 2nd, somewhere in the 3rd, and you can most definitely, as it stands right now, get Isaiah Weston in the 4th round because nobody's talking about him.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to go all in on hyper athletic wide receivers, there's Kevin Austin from Notre Dame, also a draft pick this year, 9.93. And his comps, TJ Chark, Tyrell Williams, Laurent Robinson, who was decent for one season with the Cowboys a few years ago, if you remember that, and then Cameron Meredith and Christian Wilkerson.
It's like, okay. So it's not a full
thing
proof
for Kevin Austin. It's not a sure thing for any of these guys, but they have the athletic
for Isaiah, for Christian
Right,
Watson.
they have they can at least get it. If you drafted DJ Chark, are you mad that you drafted DJ Chark in the 3rd, 4th round? I don't think so.
There was some second-year promise for sure, and they're still there's still time.
And I mean, Miles Boykin might be a cautionary tale. Brashad Perryman was a high first-round pick.
Flashed here and there.
But that's not
Still
what we're talking about. We're not talking about investing a first-round pick in one of these guys.
No,
these guys are all
no.
third, fourth-round picks. So if you can ship off what you think of as a scrub for a fourth-round pick, where you have a shot at somebody with the athletic upside of a Christian Watson, Isaiah Weston, a Kevin Austin, then you do that.
Some of the tight ends you mentioned.
And you see what happens. Some of the tight ends that I mentioned. Absolutely. So when somebody's like, thirds, they don't mean anything. Fourths, they don't mean anything. They're partially right. They are.
Yeah.
Because the hit rate on those receivers and running and on those picks is low. But if you can
20%.
If you can pinpoint high upside players, and you got 4 2/3 and 2/4, and you go Jelani Woods and Christian Watson in the third, and then you go Charlie Kolar and Isaiah Weston in the fourth, you could be walking out of there with, if the hit rate on the people that you chose is 50%, you got a 50% chance at getting a tight end 1 and a wide receiver 2 who can perform like a wide receiver 1, if not a wide receiver 1 if all works out. So, just something to think about. And Alex, I believe the difference between all-time RAS and RAS is exactly what it says. The RAS is the relative athletic score for that draft class. And then the all-time RAS is the relative athletic score compared to everybody since 1987 who has ever been measured by these measurables.
Has it been the same evaluation? I guess maybe a little bit more digging deeper into the question. I'm not necessarily asking for an answer. I guess maybe that's just like the rhetoric. Like, did anything in the process change?
Gonna have to watch the video.
Hey, okay, there you go.
Gonna have to watch the video for that answer. And Alex, you'll have access because you're a member. Slim, we're gonna figure this out for you. We're gonna figure this out for you. Send us an email, facemaskpod@gmail.com.
I'll put it in the let me put it in the chat.
Yeah. We're going to figure that out for you because we would love to have you. You've been a loyal listener of ours for a long time. You've been one of our day one, Slim, and we appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure that's Ari.
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know.
If not,
I don't know my own contact information.
I don't know. I believe that is.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Was there something else that we missed in here? No. I think we're at the end of the chat. Yeah. I think we're at the end of the chat. Do you want to
well, just a reminder to everybody who did join up today.
Yeah.
Join up on that Discord too, because we're gonna start being real active on there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's in the description.
If you have any questions that you guys need answered when we're not on a stream, we'll be checking that daily from now on, so we can give you answers on whether or not you should be making this trade or that trade, and you won't have to throw it in the YouTube comments, and you'll get, we'll be able to have a little bit longer of a conversation than just a one comment answer. So join our Discord there. But to everybody that joined up, to Alex, to Hunter L, to AB, once again, much appreciated. What times, what days would work best for you guys?
Yeah, you can let us know that. And if that's something that you want to send us in an email, or that also works.
Right.
If you don't want to,
yeah,
if you don't have an answer
even
right
on the
this
Discord.
second.
Now that we all have access to the Discord, we can just have a big old chat in the Discord about how best to go about members only live streams.
Yep, what works for everybody. Yep.
As it stands right now, I think we're going to go for one a week, but that is obviously expandable as we continue to hopefully expand as a YouTube channel. So yeah, that would be the best thing to do. Throw it in the Discord. Join the Discord. Throw it in the Discord. Times that work best for you, days that work best for you, and we can nail something down and
I'll pay attention better to this. I just realized Alex, I think this is Alex, dropped the trade question, the same trade, the 103 and the 201 for the 102 in the Discord earlier. So I think we answered it today. We will, I'm online there now. We'll be mainstays in there.
Yeah, we weren't
so we don't
or at
miss
least
that.
I was not keeping up with the Discord too much at all.
Well, you can now.
Yes. Now we will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that does it. Once again, thank you to everybody who was in the chat. Thank you to the super Alex that you sent for joining up. Thank you for joining
appreciate
up
it.
and starting the waterfall. Thank you for following suit, Hunter L and AB. Much appreciated. And Slim, we will get it figured out for you
Get that sorted
sooner
out.
than later. But today, it's been a fun chat. It's been a fun stream.
It's been a lot of fun. Very productive conversation today. I feel like we talked everything. Talked trades, talked different situations, talked draft potential landing spots, free agency movement. This was awesome. We got a whole rest of offseason. Like Iron said, we got 167 days to keep doing this. So looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Yo, if this offseason has taught me anything, I mean, there really hasn't been a day that's gone by where we haven't gotten some sort of impactful fantasy football or NFL football content to talk about, news to talk about.
Yep.
So, and I love it. My girlfriend probably does not, but I love it. I love it.
She'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, she might not be all right when she hears about how much I love Jelani Woods. But
it's true.
All of y'all, we hope y'all have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your week, great weekend. We'll be in contact with all the members on the Discord, and we'll see you guys next week, Tuesday.
Sounds good. Everybody enjoy your weekend.